Good morning. Today's Bible reading comes from 1 Kings 1 and 2, Psalm 37, Psalm 71, and Psalm 94. I'm going to be honest, this is a bit of a long reading today. All right, let's get into it. King David grew old. The years had caught up with him. Even though they piled blankets on him, he couldn't keep warm. So his servants said to him, "We're going to get the young virgin for our master the king to be at his side and look after him. She'll get in bed with you and arouse our master the king." So they searched the country of Israel for the most ravishing girl they could find. They found Abishag the Shunammite and brought her to the king. The girl was stunningly beautiful. She stayed at his side and looked after the king, but the king did not have sex with her. At this time, Adonijah, whose mother was Haggith, puffed herself up, saying, "I'm the next king." He made quite a splash with chariots and riders, and 50 men to run ahead of him. His father had spoiled him rotten as a child, never once reprimanding him. Besides that, he was very good-looking and the next in line after Absalom. Adonijah talked with Joab, son of Cheruiah, and with Abiathar the priest, and they threw their weight on his side, and neither the priest Zadok nor Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, nor Nathan the prophet, nor Shammai or Rai, nor David's personal bodyguards supported Adonijah. Next, Adonijah held a coronation feast, sacrificing sheep, cattle, and grain-fed heifers at the zone of Zoheleth near Rogel Spring. He invited all his brothers, the king's sons, and everyone in Judah who had position and influence, but he did not invite the prophet Nathan, Benaiah, the bodyguards, or his brother Solomon. Nathan went to Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. "Did you know that Adonijah, Haggith's son, has taken over as king, and our master David doesn't know a thing about it? Quickly now, let me tell you how you can save both your own life and Solomon's. Go immediately to King David. Speak up. Didn't you, my master the king, promise me? Your son Solomon will be king after me and sit on my throne. So why is Adonijah new king? While you're there talking with the king, I'll come in and collaborate your story." Bathsheba went at once to the king in his palace bedroom. He was so old. Abishag was at his side, making him comfortable. As Bathsheba bowed low, honoring the king, he said, "What do you want?" "My master," she said, "you have promised me in God's name. Your son Solomon will be king after me and sit on my throne. And now look what's happened. Adonijah has taken over as king, and my master the king doesn't even know it. He has thrown a huge coronation feast, cattle and grain-fed heifers and sheep, inviting all the king's sons, the priest Abiathar, and Joab, head of the army. But your servant Solomon was not invited. My master the king, every eye in Israel is watching you to see what you'll do, to see who will sit on the throne of my master the king after him. If you fail to act, the moment you're buried, my son Solomon and I are as good as dead." Abruptly, while she was telling the king all this, Nathan the prophet came in and was announced. "Nathan the prophet is here." He came before the king, honoring him by bowing deeply, his face touching the ground. "My master, the king," Nathan began. "Did you say Adonijah shall be king after me, sit on my throne? Because that's what's happening. He's thrown a huge coronation feast, cattle, grain-fed heifers, sheep, inviting all the king's sons, the army officers, and Abiathar the priest. They're having a grand time, eating and drinking and shouting, 'Long live King Adonijah!' But I wasn't invited, nor was the priest Zadok, nor Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, nor your servant Solomon. Is this something that my master the king has done behind our backs, not telling your servants who you intended to be king after you? King David took action. Get Bathsheba back in here. She entered and stood before the king. The king solemnly promised, as God lives, the God who delivered me from every kind of trouble, I'll do exactly what I promised in God's name, the God of Israel. Your son Solomon will be king after me and take my place on the throne, and I'll make sure it happens this very day. Bathsheba bowed low, her face to the ground. Kneeling in reverence before the king, she said, "Oh, may my master King David live forever." King David said, "Call Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah, son of Jehoiada." They came to the king. Then he ordered, "Gather my servants, then mount my son Solomon on my royal mule, and lead him in procession down to Gihon. When you get there, Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet will anoint him king over Israel. Then blow the ram's horn, trumpet, and shout, 'Long live King Solomon.' You will then accompany him as he enters and takes his place on my throne, succeeding me as king. I have named him ruler over Israel and Judah." And Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, backed the king. "Yes, and may God, the God of my master the king, confirm it. Just as God has been with my master the king, may he also be with Solomon and make his rule even greater than that of my master King David." Then Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, Benaiah son of Jehoiada, and the king's personal bodyguard, the Kerethites and the Pelethites, went down, mounted Solomon on King David's mule, and paraded with him to Gihon. Zadok the priest brought a flask of oil from the sanctuary and anointed Solomon. They blew the ram's horn trumpet, and everyone shouted, "Long live King Solomon." Everyone joined the fanfare, the band playing, the people singing, the very earth reverberating to the sound. Adonijah and his retinue of guests were just finishing their coronation feast when they heard it. When Joab heard the blast of the ram's horn trumpet, he said, "What's going on here? What's all this uproar?" Suddenly, in the midst of the questioning, Jonathan, son of Abiathar the priest, showed up. Adonijah said, "Welcome. A brave and good man like you must have good news." But Jonathan answered, "Hardly. Our master King David has just made Solomon king, and the king has surrounded him with Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, Benaiah son of Jehoiada, with the Kerethites and the Pelethites, and they mounted Solomon on the royal mule. Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet have anointed him king at Gihon, and the parade is headed up this way singing a great fanfare. This city is beside itself. That's what you're hearing. Here's the crowning touch. Solomon is seated on the throne of the kingdom. And that's not all. The king's servants have come to give their blessing to our master, King David, saying, God, make Solomon's name even more honored than yours, and make his rule greater than yours. On his deathbed, the king worshiped God and prayed, Blessed be God, Israel's God, who has provided a successor to my throne, and I've lived to see it. Panicked, Adonijah's guests got out of there, scattering every which way. But Adonijah himself, afraid for his life because of Solomon, fled to the sanctuary and grabbed the horns of the altar. Solomon was told, Adonijah, fearful of King Solomon, has taken sanctuary and seized the horns of the altar and is saying, I'm not leaving until King Solomon promises that he won't kill me. Solomon then said, He proves to be a man of honor. Not a hair of his head will be hurt, but if there is evil in him, he'll die. Solomon summoned him, and they brought him from the altar. Adonijah came and bowed down, honoring the king. Solomon dismissed him. Go home. When David's time to die approached, he charged his son Solomon, saying, I'm about to go the way of all the earth, but you, be strong, show what you're made of. Do what God tells you, walk in the paths he shows you, follow the life map absolutely, keep an eye out for the signpost, his course for life set out in the revelation to Moses. Then you'll get on well in whatever you do and wherever you go. Then God will confirm what he promised me when he said, if your sons watch their steps, staying true to me, heart and soul, you'll always have a successor on Israel's throne. And don't forget what Joab, son of Zeruiah, did to the two commanders of Israel's army, to Abner, son of Ner, and to Amasa, son of Jether. He murdered them in cold blood, acting in peacetime as if he were at war, and has been stained with that blood ever since. Do what you think best with him, but by no means let him get off scot-free. Make him pay. But be generous to the sons of Bareilai, the Gileadite. Extend every hospitality to them. That's the way they treated me when I was running for my life from Absalom, your brother. You also will have to deal with Shimei, son of Gera, the Benjamite from Baharim, the one who cursed me so viciously when I was on my way to Mahanaim. Later, when he welcomed me back at the Jordan, I promised him, under God, I won't put you to death, but neither should you treat him as if nothing ever happened. You're wise. You'll know how to handle these things. You'll know what to do to make him pay before he dies. Then David joined his ancestors. He was buried in the city of David. David ruled Israel for 40 years, 7 years in Hebron and another 33 in Jerusalem. Solomon took over the throne of his father. He had a firm grip on the kingdom. Adonijah, son of Haggith, came to Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. She said, Did you come in peace? He said, In peace. And then, may I say something to you? Go ahead, she said, speak. You know that I had the kingdom right in my hands and everyone expected me to be king. And then the whole thing backfired and the kingdom landed in my brother's lap. God's doing. So now I have one request to ask of you. Please don't refuse me. Go ahead, ask, she said. Ask King Solomon, he won't turn you down, to give me Abishag, the Shunammite, as my wife. Certainly, said Bathsheba. I'll speak to the king for you. Bathsheba went to King Solomon to present Adonijah's request. The king got up and welcomed her, bowing respectfully, and returned to his throne. Then he had a throne put in place for his mother, and she sat at his right hand. She said, I have a small favor to ask of you. Don't refuse me. The king replied, Go ahead, mother. Of course I won't refuse you. She said, Give Abishag, the Shunammite, to your brother Adonijah as his wife. It's a mouthful this morning. King Solomon answered his mother, What kind of favor is this, asking that Abishag, the Shunammite, be given to Adonijah? Why don't you ask me to hand over the whole kingdom to him on a platter, since he's my older brother, and has Abiathar the priest and Joab, son of Zeruiah, on his side? Then King Solomon swore under God, May God do his worst to me if Adonijah doesn't pay for this with his life. As surely as God lives, God who has set me firmly on the throne of my father David, and has put me in charge of the kingdom just as he promised, Adonijah will die for this today. King Solomon dispatched Benaiah, son of Jehoiada. He struck Adonijah, and he died. The king then told Abiathar the priest, You're exiled to your place in Anathoth. You deserve death, but I'm not going to kill you. For now, anyway, because you were in charge of the chest of our ruling God, in the company of David, my father, because you shared all the hard times with my father. Solomon stripped Abiathar of his priesthood, fulfilling God's word at Shiloh regarding the family of Eli. When this news reached Joab, who had conspired with Adonijah, although he had remained loyal in the Absalom affair, he took refuge in the sanctuary of God, seizing the horns of the altar and holding on for dear life. King Solomon was told that Joab had escaped to the sanctuary of God and was clinging to the altar of God and was reread that line. He immediately sent Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, with orders, kill him. Benaiah went to the sanctuary of God and said, King's orders, come out. He said, no, I'll die right here. Benaiah went back to the king and reported, this is Joab's answer. The king said, go ahead then. Do what he says. Kill him and bury him. Absolve me and my father's family of the guilt from Joab's senseless murders. God is avenging those bloody murders on Joab's head. 2 men he murdered, men better by far than he ever was. But behind my father's back he brutally murdered Abner, son of Ner, commander of Israel's army, and Amasa, son of Jether, commander of Judah's army. Responsibility for their murders is forever fixed on Joab and his descendants. But for David and his descendants, his family and kingdom, the final verdict is God's peace. So Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, went back, struck Joab, and killed him. He was buried in his family plot out in the desert. The king appointed Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, over the army in place of Joab, and replaced Abiathar with Zadok the priest. The king next called in Shammai and told him, build yourself a house in Jerusalem and live there, but you are not to leave the area. If you so much as cross the brook Kidron, you're as good as dead. You will have decreed your own death sentence. Shammai answered the king, oh, thank you. Your servant will do exactly as my master says. Shammai lived in Jerusalem a long time. But it so happened that 3 years later 2 of Shammai's slaves ran away to Achish, son of Maacah, king of Gath. Shammai was told, your slaves are in Gath. Shammai sprang into action, saddled his donkey, and went to Achish in Gath looking for his slaves. And then he came back, bringing his slaves. Solomon was told, Shammai left Jerusalem for Gath, and now he's back. Solomon then called for Shammai and said, didn't I make you promise me under God and give you a good warning besides that you would not leave this area? That if you left, you would have decreed your own death sentence? Didn't you say, oh, thank God, I'll do exactly as you say? So why didn't you keep your sacred promise and do what I ordered? Then the king told Shammai, deep in your heart you know all the evil you did to my father David. God will now avenge that evil on you. But King Solomon will be blessed, and the rule of David will be a sure thing under God forever. The king then gave orders to Benaiah, son of Jehoiada. He went out and struck Shammai dead. The king was now securely in Solomon's grasp. Psalm 37. Don't bother, this is a psalm of David, don't bother your head with braggarts, or wish you could succeed like the wicked. In no time they'll shrivel like grass and clippings, and wilt like cut flowers in the sun. Get insurance with God and do a good deed. Settle down and stick to your last. Keep company with God, get in on the best. Open up before God, keep nothing back. He'll do whatever he needs to be done. He'll validate your life in the clear light of day and stamp you with approval at high noon. Quiet down before God, be prayerful before him. Don't bother with those who climb the ladder, who elbow their way to the top. Bridle your anger, trash your wrath. Cool your pipes, it only makes things worse. Before long the crooks will be bankrupt. God investors will soon own the store. Before you know it, the wicked will have had it. You'll stare at his once famous place and nothing. Down-to-earth people will move in and take over, relishing a huge bonanza. Bad guys have it in for the good guys, obsessed with doing them in. God isn't losing any sleep. To him, they're a joke with no punchline. Bullies brandish their swords. You pull back on their bows with a flourish. They're out to beat up on the harmless or mug that nice man out walking his dog. A banana peel lands them flat on their faces. Slapstick figures in a moral circus. Less is more and more is less. One righteous will outclass 50 wicked. For the wicked are moral weaklings, but the righteous are God strong. God keeps track of decent folk. What they won't be, what they do won't be soon forgotten. In hard times, they'll hold their heads high. When the shelves are bare, they'll be full. God despisers have had it. God's enemies are finished, stripped bare like vineyards of harvest time, vanished like smoke in thin air. Wicked borrows and never returns. Righteous gives and gives. Generous gets it all in the end. Stingy is cut off at the pass. Stalwart walks in step with God. His path blazed by God, he's happy. If he stumbles, he's not down for long. God has a grip on his hand. I once was young, now I'm gray-beard. Not once have I seen an abandoned believer. Or his kids, name it, roaming the streets. Every day he's out giving and lending, his children making him proud. Turn your back on evil, work for the good, and don't quit. God loves this kind of thing, never turns away from his friends. Live this way and you've got it made, but bad eggs will be tossed out. The good get planted on good land and put down healthy roots. Righteous chews on wisdom like a dog on a bone, rolls virtue around on his tongue. His heart pumps God's word like blood through his veins. His feet are sure as a cat's. Wicked sets a watch for righteous. He's out for the kill. God, alert, is also on watch. Wicked won't hurt a hair on his head. Wait patiently for God. No, wait passionately for God. Don't leave the path. He'll give you your place in the sun. While you watch, the wicked lose it. I saw wicked bloated like a toad, croaking pretentious nonsense. The next time I looked, there was nothing, a punctured bladder, vapid and limp. Keep your eye on the healthy soul, scrutinize the straight life. There's a future in strenuous wholeness, but the willful will soon be discarded. Insolent souls are on a dead-end street. The spacious free life is from God. It's also protected and safe. God strengthened, we're delivered from evil. When we run to him, he saves us. Psalm 71. I run for dear life to God. I'll never live to regret it. Do what you do so well. Get me out of this mess and up on my feet. Put your ear to the ground and listen. Give me space for salvation. Be a guest room where I can retreat. You said your door was always open. You're my salvation, my vast granite fortress. My God, free me from the grip of the wicked, from the clutch of bad and bully. You keep me going when times are tough, my bedrock, God, since my childhood. I've hung on you from the day of my birth, the day you took me from the cradle. I'll never run out of praise. Many gasp in alarm when they see me, but you take me in stride. Just as each day brims with your beauty, my mouth brims with praise. But don't turn me out to pasture when I'm old, or put me on the shelf when I can't pull my weight. My enemies are talking behind my back, watching for their chance to knife me. The gossip is, God has abandoned him. Pounce on him now. No one will help him. God, don't just watch from the sidelines. Come on, run to my side. My accusers, make them lose face. Those out to get me, make them look like idiots, while I stretch out, reaching for you, and daily add praise to praise. I'll write the book on your righteousness, talk up your salvation all day long. Never run out of good things to write or say. I come to the power of Lord God. I post signs marking his right of way. You got me when I was an unformed youth, God, and taught me everything I know. Now I'm telling the world your wonders. I'll keep at it until I'm old and gray. God, don't walk off and leave me until I get the news of your strong right arm to this world, news of your power to the world yet to come, your famous and righteous ways, O God. God, you've done it all. Who is quite like you? You who made me stare trouble in the face, turn me around. Now let me look life in the face. I've been to the bottom. Bring me up, streaming with honors. Turn to me, be tender to me. I'll take up the lute and thank you to the tune of your faithfulness, God. I'll make music for you on a harp, Holy One of Israel. When I open up in song to you, I'll let out lustful songs of praise. My life rescued, my rescued life a song. All day long I'm chanting about you and your righteous ways, while those who tried to do me in slink off, looking unashamed. No. Sorry about that. Let me reread that. When those who tried to do me in slink off, looking ashamed. Psalm 94. God, put an end to evil. Avenging God, show your colors. Judge of the earth, take your stand. Throw the book at the arrogant. God, the wicked get away with murder. How long will you let this go on? They brag and boast and crow about their crimes. They walk all over your people, God. Exploit and abuse your precious people. They take out anyone who gets in their way. If they can't use them, they kill them. They think God isn't looking. Jacob's God is out to lunch. Well, think again, you idiots, fools. How long before you get smart? Do you think ear maker doesn't hear? Eye shaper doesn't see? Do you think the trainer of nations doesn't correct? The teacher of Adam doesn't know? God knows, all right. Knows your stupidity, sees your shallowness. How blessed the man you train, God, the woman you instruct in your word, providing a circle of quiet within the clamor of evil. While a jail is being built for the wicked, God will never walk away from his people, never desert his precious people. Rest assured that justice is on its way and every good heart put right. Who stood up for me against the wicked? Who took my side against evil workers? If God hadn't been there for me, I never would have made it. The minute I said, I'm slipping, I'm falling, your love, God, took hold and held me fast. When I was upset and beside myself, you calmed me down and cheered me up. Can misrule have anything in common with you? Can troublemaker pretend to be on your side? They ganged up on good people, plotted behind the backs of the innocent. But God became my hideout. God was my high mountain retreat. Then boomeranged their evil back on them. For their evil ways he wiped them out. Our God cleaned them out for good. And that is it for today's Bible reading. As always, get in touch with God, and be glad that eventually God does take revenge on those who do evil. All right, people, see you again tomorrow. Everybody have a great day.